Hi guys, Sep here from Carlist, and today we are in Thailand to test out the all-new 2023 Honda WRV. Now this small SUV is a very important model for Honda Malaysia because it might make a lot of money for Honda Malaysia. Say hello to its new moneymaker. Now the Honda WRV will be replacing the outgoing Honda BRV 7-seater MPV because this small SUV in the big segment might do really well in terms of sale. And in terms of competition, it is placed in the category below the Honda HRV, which means that its only stiff competition comes from the Pro 2 Ativa. So with that logic, instead of bringing in the new BRV, which might cost a lot more money, they decided to bring this, which has more excitement and a much better price tag, hopefully. So for the sake of the video, we are just going to do some comparisons between the Honda WRV with the Pro 2 Ativa, starting with dimensions. Now if you look at the car, it looks sporty, it looks nice, but if you look at the numbers, it's actually slightly shorter in terms of length compared to the Ativa, but it's very negligible. It's only like 5mm. It's also shorter, but the biggest the biggest update would be, or the biggest benefit would be, that it's a lot wider. Now again, compared to the Ativa, it has a slightly shorter wheelbase, but again, if you look at the dimensions alone, I think it looks really great, especially sitting on 17-inch dual-tone rims. So another reason why I believe that the Honda WRV will do really well in terms of sales is because it caters to a lot of Honda fans and enthusiasts, because from different angles you will see a lot of different elements from different Honda models. Like for example, at the front end you will see some glimpse of the Honda City, the Honda Amaze, and from the sides you can see that the door panels is actually like the Honda HRV. And probably my favorite part is the rear, because if you get it in this color or even the white, you might feel that the rear combination light looks like the Honda Civic FE, which is a really nice look on the Civic and also very nice look on the WRV. What do you guys think? Despite the slight variations in terms of dimensions between the WRV and the Pro 2 Ativa, I think if you look at the boot space, it's actually very decent, because at first glance it looks really big, and on paper it says that it can store up to 363 liters of capacity. So I think a bunch of bags or stroller, 2 big bags for your travels should be more than enough to cater to your family, or even a new couple, or even a family up to 5. I think with the extra width, you will get a lot more comfortable inside the Honda WRV, but I'm going to show you firsthand. Okay, so now we're inside the Honda WRV, and at first glance, or my first impression, is it feels really nice. It's not the biggest, but it feels quite spacious. So you have a very Honda-ish design. Again, this caters to a lot of Honda fans and enthusiasts because you feel right at home. You get the combination meter display with a small 4.3-inch TFT, and then you have a 7-inch center screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, buttons for the AC, and yeah, basic stuff. This is the RS variant for the Thai market with semi-bucket seats. You can say it's semi-bucket seats, but you know, if you ask me right now, it feels really nice. It feels nice and supported. It feels plush, especially on the sides. But there is a slight downside, because if you're like me, if you have long legs, or if you're a height of 170 centimeters and above, you might feel that the seats are not that supported because of the gap right here. But with that being said, I feel that when it comes to daily drives, for short drives to and from the office, sending your kids to school, going for grocery shopping, this might be a perfect car for you, because once it comes into Malaysia, this might be their new entry-level SUV with a decent price tag, very easy to drive, and yeah, if you are a Honda fan or if you are a Warga H, you will feel right at home. Okay, so now we're seated at the back, and it's a bit of a different story at the back, because I feel like the rear seats are very comfortable. I think more comfortable compared to the front seats. So if you have passengers along the ride or your kids, I think they will have no issues sitting at the back. Why? Because right now this The driver seat is set to my driving preferences, and as you can see, I still have a lot of leg room. I have a lot of headroom because of the design of the WRV, and of course, great view from the big windows. So overall, I believe that who's ever sitting at the back will have a better experience, and this is a good thing because if you and your family decides to go on a slightly longer trip compared to your daily drives, like to Penang or Johor, those sitting at the back will be quite comfortable. So there's also a center armrest if you're bringing in 3 passengers along, so they can rest quite easily. And yeah, if you look at the rear, it might feel like it's a bit tegak, it might be a bit too vertical, but if you ask me, it feels very comfortable because you can just lean and there you go, comfortable. Now going to the business ends of things, the engine. So it is powered by a 1.5 litre double overhead cam I VTEC engine, which produces 121 PS and 145 Newton meters of torque. Now if you feel that those figures are somewhat familiar, because it's the same engine that is used in the city sedan as well as the base model for the Honda HR-V. So when it comes to driving experience, Honda told us that on paper it can do as far as 16.7 km per litre, and based on our experience from yesterday's drive, that figure is very achievable. It's not impossible. We have been driving around in the Honda WRV for a few days now, and the first thing that I can say about the car is that it's so easy to drive because the engine is actually very forgiving, but more importantly is the handling, because in city driving situations the steering feels light but it's not too light, and the responsiveness of the throttle pedal is just nice. Same goes for the brakes. So if you're planning to get the Honda WRV for mainly city use, it's a great car because it's very nimble and also very agile. So like I said in the earlier part of the video, leg support might be an issue for those who are taller or with longer legs, but again, for shorter distance driving, it shouldn't be a big of an issue too much. However, for the rest of the passengers, they will have a very good time, especially those sitting at the back, because those seats are nice. So when it comes to driving on the highway, getting up to speed is very easy. You can get it up to 110 without no problems. Actually keeping it between 80 to 110 feels very good. The only thing that might be of a slight concern is the engine noise. There's very minimal wind noise, no noise when it comes from the tires, but the engine noise might be a bit loud for some. But to me, it's at an acceptable level. On paper, it says it can do 16.7 kilometers per litre, but we did around 14 kilometers per litre, and we were really giving it the beans because on the highway we did about between 120 to 140. So that means it's achievable to get the 16.7 kilometers per litre with the Honda WRV. But at the end of the day, it's about how easy it is to drive. No matter the driving situation or the driving scenario or wherever you live, driving the WRV is like a walk in the park. So easy, very comfortable. So if you're planning to get a second car, or for your wife, or like a brand new car for your kid who just got the license, yeah, the Honda WRV is a good fit because number one, like I said earlier, it's easy to drive. Number two, the safety specs in the Honda WRV is very decent. So in the Thai Spec RS, you get the Honda Sensing package, which comes with things like auto high beam, which makes it very good to drive at night. You have forward collision warning and mitigation. What else? And a bunch more. I'll just list it down on the screen here for you to see. You also get things like adaptive cruise control, which make things a lot easier when it comes to driving on the highways. Keeping it at speed is a cinch in the Honda WRV. Apart from the adaptive cruise control, you also get something that is very useful when it comes to driving in the cities or traffic jams, which is the Honda Lane Watch. You might feel like, oh, having a camera on the left hand side or the left mirror is nothing much to brag about, but it is good. You see the feed in the center touchscreen. When you want to turn left, you use the signal to turn left. You can see the blind spot is covered very, very well. So you don't have to rely on the side mirror alone. You have the Honda Lane Watch to help you, especially when it comes to in the cities where there are a lot of motorcycles. Yeah, you want to be able to see if there's any in your blind spot, and Honda solved this with the Lane Watch. Good stuff. So at the end of the day, once the Honda WRV comes into the Malaysian market, there will be a few questions that needs to be answered first. Number one, how many variants? Number two, and this is the most important one, is the price tag. Because if you look at other markets like Indonesia, for example, the RS spec with Honda Sensing will cost you around 90,000 ringgit. So in order to get this play right, Honda Malaysia needs to be very, very competitive in terms of pricing, because they want to sell a lot of this and they want to steer people away from the already popular Product Activa. So how many variants? What's the price tag? I'll tell you probably in the next video or in the next article. For now, my first impressions of the Honda WRV is really good in terms of looks. As you can see, it's very sporty, very nice, very small. In terms of drivability, it goes really well. The engine is sufficient enough for you to drive on the highways or slightly above that, and it's very comfortable, very nimble. I think when it comes to the WRV, this is probably a very nimble car to drive. So if you're driving around the city areas, braking, good. Drivability, good. Turning radius, probably one of the best. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think you can get your very own Honda WRV? Who knows? So thank you for watching, and yeah, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and all that thing, and I'll see you again in the next video, okay? Ciao!